Morning, children. I am Mrs. Sylvia Das, your English teacher. Children, take your English reader and open page number 1. Today we will start Unit 1, that is Raksha Bandhan. Children, before we start the lesson, first we will go through the meanings and understand them. So, children, open page number 3 for the meanings. Now, first word is affection. What do you mean by affection? Affection means liking or love. Second word, tie. To hold two or more things together using strings. What do you mean by strings? Strings means rope or thread which can be used to tie few things together. Third one is celebrate. To show that a day is important by doing something special. Special day. Which are these special days? Your birthdays or festival. On which day you celebrate together with your family and friends. A special day, special occasion is called as celebrate. Now next word, carry. To take things from one place to another. Means shifting of things from one place to another place is called as carry. Next word is protect. Keep secure or give safety. Means to keep something safely. Next word is Aarti. What do you mean by Aarti? Aarti is a plate with lamps or lights on it. Have you seen the plate of Aarti? Few people take a plate and place some candles or lamps or lights in it to do their pujas. So children, I hope you have understood the meaning. Now let us start the lesson Raksha Bandhan. So go back to page number 1. Children, before we start the lesson, there is a small poem given on this page. That is My Sister and Me. We laugh, we cry, we make time fly. Best friends are we, my sister and me. Isn't it? You play, you laugh and cry at home with your brothers and sisters. So you spend most of your time with your brothers and sisters. So this short poem is also regarding brothers and sisters. In the same way, when you go through the lesson Raksha Bandhan, you can also find this kind of love and affection between brothers and sisters. Now let us start the lesson. Raksha Bandhan. Raksha Bandhan is a festival observed in North India. Where is the festival observed? It is observed in North India. That is, it is celebrated in North India now. All over the world or all over in India, few people are celebrating Raksha Bandhan. It celebrates warm feelings of love and affection between brothers and sisters. What do you find during this Raksha Bandhan? In this festival, you can find love and affection between brothers and sisters. Now, the next stanza. In the epic Mahabharata, this kind of affection is seen between Krishna and Draupadi. Where do you find this story about Raksha Bandhan? In the epic Mahabharata. Now, do you know the meaning of epic? Epic means it is a historical event. Historical event which has taken place long years back. So, Mahabharata is an epic. In this epic, you can find the love and affection between Krishna and Draupadi. Now we will read the next line. When Krishna's wrist bleed from a wound, Draupadi tore a strip of a silk saree and tied it round his wrist. Now what did Draupadi do? Once when Krishna's hand was bleeding, means the blood was coming out, so Draupadi tore a silk saree. She tore a piece of silk saree and tied it round to Krishna's wrist. Now, what do you mean by wrist? Wrist is a place in your hand where you wear the watches. Boys wear the watch, girls wear their bangles, or few people tie thread. The place in your hand that is called as wrist, where the boys wear the watch is called as wrist. Now what does Draupadi does? She tore a silk saree because Krishna's wound was bleeding. Do you know the meaning of bleeding? Bleeding means when the blood comes out, that is called as bleeding. So she ties that cloth around his wrist. He was so touched by her act that he hoped to protect her as he took her to be his sister from that moment. When Draupadi, she tore her sari and tied around his wound, he was touched. He was very happy that she had helped him out to stop the blood. So he oved. What do you mean by oved? Oved means he took a promise. He took a promise to protect her from that moment as his sister. He took her as a sister and he wanted to protect her. Now next line, shall we read? The festival is celebrated on the full moon day of the month Shravana. Now, when the festival is celebrated, the Raksha Bandhan festival is celebrated on the full moon day of the month Shravana. Children, now turn to page number 2. Now, in this picture, you can find few girls are there in the market. Now, there is an interaction between two girls. You can find their names, Vani and Suma. Vani and Suma are two friends who meet in the market and they're discussing about Raksha Bandhan. Now, let us read. Two girls meet on the street while going to the market. Let us know what they talk. So, first girl is Vani. Hi Suma, where are you going? Now, Vani is asking to Suma. Hi Suma, hello Suma, where are you going? Now, what does Suma replies? Suma, I am going to the market to buy Rakis. Where is Suma going? Suma is going to the market to buy some Rakis. Now, what does Vani replies? Vani, what is Rakhi? Now Vani asks a question to Suma, what is Rakhi? Because she doesn't know what is Rakhi. Now Suma explains to her what is Rakhi. Next, we'll see what does Suma says. Suma, it is a symbol of love and affection. It strengthens the bond between brothers, sisters and cousins. A Rakhi is made of thread and it is colorful. Look, I have brought some with me. So what does Suma says? She says that she explains about Rakhi, that is Raksha Bandhan. It is a love and affection between brothers and sisters. They tie a thread over their brothers or cousins' wrist. So how they celebrate this festival, she is explaining to Vani. Now what does Vani says? Vani, what do you do with that? Now she's asking, what are you going to do with this thread or with this Rakhi? Now what reply does Suma gives? Suma, I tie it on to the right wrist of my brother and friends like Raju, Deepu, Arun and others. What does Suma say? She's going to tie this Rakhi on the right wrist of a brother or friends like Raju, Deepu, Arun, some friends or others. She wanted to tie those Rakhis on the wrist of a brother. Now Vani, why do you do that? She's asking, why do you do that? Now what does Suma replies? Suma, tying of Rakhi is known as Raksha Bandhan. Tying of Rakhi is known as Raksha Bandhan. It is believed that the person who is presented with the Rakhi promises to protect the sister. Affection between brothers and sisters is thus established. Now what does Suma say? Tying of Rakhi to his brothers, it is a present. It presents, what does it present? It presents that the brother promises to protect his sister. Thus, the affection between brothers and sister is established. Now, Vani, please tell me more about it and I will also celebrate the festival. Now, Vani is also very much interested in this Raksha Bandhan and she is asking Suma to explain her or to tell her something special, something extraordinary, so that even she want to celebrate this festival. Now what does Suma says? Suma, Raksha Bandhan festival is celebrated every year in the month of Shravana. Children, when the festival is celebrated, Raksha Bandhan is celebrated every year in the month of Shravana. Sisters carry sweets and aarti in a plate with aarti in it. As I told you, no children, aarti. Now what does the sisters does? They take a plate, aarti plate, they place a lamp or light, some deepam on the plate with some sweets and with rakis in it, and they carry it to the brother's house. They tie Rakhi around the wrist of the brother and give sweets. What does they do? They tie Rakhi to the wrist of the brother's hand and they put some sweet in his mouth. The brothers give gifts or money to the sisters in return. In return, what does the brother give? He gives something special gifts or money to his sister, and he promised that he will protect her. Now, finally, what does Vani says? Fine, thank you. I will also buy Rakhis and tie them on my brother's wrist. Now, finally, Vani was very much impressed by the words of Suma. She was very much interested to know about Raksha Bandhan, and she felt very happy, and even she took some of her Rakhi, that she was impressed so much by Suma that she purchased some Rakhi, and she finally says thanks her friend, and she says that she is going to buy some Rakhis and tie them on her brother's wrist. So children, did you understand the lesson? Raksha Bandhan, right children? So children, I have already sent notes, that is question answers, fill in the blanks, and meanings also through our school app. So kindly go through our school app, write the fair note, complete the fair note, copy the question answers and each and everything from the school app and complete your fair note. In my next video, children, I would like to share, we will do something extra. That is, last year we have not done, this year we will do our text work. So in my next video, I will share the text work with you all. Till then, bye children.